respond to this Joker, and if they have a good time with this version of the Joker, then I could imagine him coming back. But if not, I'll just go live in a fucking cave somewhere.
But seriously, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I want to sit down and speak to you guys about Jared Leto's Joker, simply defending his Joker from some of the backlash he's been receiving from Suicide Squad. Of course, I finally got to sit down and watch the film in full last night and gather my thoughts on the entire movie recently, but from what I had heard prior to me seeing the film was that Jared Leto's Joker was somewhat of a disappointment to fans for a number of reasons, ranging from people not being entirely a fan of his interpretation to rumours of the final cut of the movie featuring only 5 minutes of him when there is said to be over 90 minutes of total footage. Now already this should be no more familiar to the DC films thus far, because a very similar thing happened with Batman vs Superman. A lot of the footage was cut, making the film felt very incoherent, and as a result, fans immediately attacked Zack Snyder for the film being nothing but a disappointment in many's eyes. However, in actual fact, it wasn't Snyder's fault whatsoever, but Warner Brothers editors who cut out major segments of the film's plot in order to cram the film into a runtime just short of 2 hours and 30 minutes. What we actually saw from Snyder's cut included these deleted scenes, which made the film a lot more better to watch and was overall a better movie. But there were still many intended scenes from the movie still missing, anything from multiple scenes of the Justice League in action to even more Batman fight scenes, which we never even saw in the digital or Blu-ray releases of the Ultimate Edition. Believe me, I was quick to blame Zack Snyder for the monstrosity known as BVS's theatrical cut, but by the time I found out how good the director's version was, I was very quick and regretful of everything I had said about Snyder after seeing Batman v Superman back in March. Now this same exact thing has happened with Suicide Squad, with people attacking not just Leto but director David Ayer and Warner Brothers for supposedly making the same editing mistakes as Batman v Superman. Except this time it's Leto himself who is just as infuriated as the fans, if not even more agitated by the fact that his hard work is barely in the film. What I'm going to show you now is a few statements which he made post-release to Suicide Squad in interviews.
Any that didn't get cut from the movie?
Got cut from the movie.
No, I'm asking you, were there any that didn't get cut from the movie? Okay. People who want more Joker, I say, me too.
Yeah. Okay.
I did a lot of work in the film, and a lot was cut. So you have to ask the movie studio why.
Okay.
I don't know. We shot so much footage. There are so many scenes that are not in the film. A bit more of a supporting part than maybe it could have been if they used everything, but they have a method to their madness. You know, I think there's probably enough footage in this film for a Joker movie.
So as you've just learnt there, Jared Leto seems almost baffled to the fact that his Joker only exists in Suicide Squad for a maximum time of 7 minutes, meaning that either he didn't get to see the movie in full or there must have been some serious editing changes last minute, and anything behind the scenes for Suicide Squad must have been very last minute decisions. Rumours have circulated that Ayer only had 6 weeks to write a script, and from a screenplayer's perspective, that short amount of time to write a plot for a 2-hour movie while considering all the fan service and keeping the canon to an already existing universe is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Batman v Superman's script was in development for multiple years. Avatar started its screenplay way back in 1995. 2 examples of how far a screenplay should be thought of. It's a gathering of ideas and effectively transforming what you've written into a live action movie, and a movie which has had such anticipation behind it, and a movie which is many consider to be important considering the DCEU's critical disadvantages at the moment. Leto also states that the footage that he shot could have been made into a full feature film of the Joker, and honestly I don't disagree with him. It's very believable. Half of the footage from trailers isn't even in Suicide Squad, and there's multiple scenes on the deleted scenes list which consist of the Joker. I don't understand why they cut him so much from the movie. One thing which I touched on in my review of Suicide Squad was that the comparison between Heath Ledger's Joker and Jared Leto's Joker at the moment is invalid and shouldn't be considered at this moment in time. Of course, right now Heath Ledger's Joker is a mile better than Leto's, but that's only because Leto was given 7 minutes to please fans in Suicide Squad, where Heath Ledger is in the Dark Knight throughout almost the entire runtime. You cannot compare someone who is existent in an entire 2-hour 30-minute movie to someone who is only in 7 minutes of a film of the same length. Not only is it absurd, but it's just impossible to make that comparison. Maybe when the 2018 solo Batman film directed by Ben Affleck will be able to make that comparison, which, trust me, I'm itching to make, because right now it's just impossible to make, and It's extremely unfair on Leto at this moment in time. Personally, however, I found him to be absolutely fantastic in Suicide Squad, and I cannot wait to see what he has to offer in the DCEU. That is, if the studio behind these films gives him a chance to actually shine. One suggestion which I would like to make is to release a second version of this movie, fix the problems which the original theatrical cut of Suicide Squad had, include more Joker, and just make it a better film to watch, please. The Joker would make the film a lot more interesting, building that dynamic between him and Harley even more, and who doesn't want to see the fucking Joker in live action, especially someone as talented and diverse in these roles as Jared Leto. I actually think everyone forgets that this music artist has an Oscar to his name, a very well deserved Oscar actually, and some of the other movies he's been in are only redeemed by his performance. But seriously, if this second cut of the movie is better than the original, then Warner Brothers seriously needs to start firing people behind these DC EU films and hiring some professionals from other studios, because these choppy editing styles and the sheer amount of deleted scenes are fucking up this universe's critical state thus far. And Aya, please don't say that this is your cut of the movie, because I know for a fact it isn't. David Ayer has a very grounded directing style, and it's very noticeable to notice one of David Ayer's films. However, Suicide Squad just lacks in that artistic value, and it's definitely not a film edited by David Ayer. It doesn't feel like it, it just doesn't feel like a David Ayer film in general. To round off this little discussion, Jared Leto's Joker should not be bashed on. Not only were us fans screwed over, but Leto was fucked over by the genius editors of Warner Brothers 10 times harder than us watching the film. Right now, if you ever want to see anything worthy of your time, watch the Purple Lamborghini music video and watch the snippets of him in the trailers as much as you can, because until the Blu-ray comes out, there isn't any chance of seeing any deleted scenes of the Joker up until then.
My answer is fuck 'em.
So with all that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to my channel for more content in the near future. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.